Hello. So I feel really called to talk about the energy around at the moment. But whenever you receive this transmission, whenever you click on this video, it's perfect timing, okay? But I just can't help but um, draw inspiration from what's going on at the moment in the world, I guess. But honestly, it's timeless, okay? Alright, so we have this full moon in Aries coming up towards the end of October 2021, alright? But this energy I'm feeling is continuing. It's a message for kind of like the rest of 2021, but apply it for as long as it may be applicable for you in your life. Okay, and the message is around focusing on healing our inner masculine. So, personally, for me, when I first started sort of really doing healing work on myself, like 7 or 8 years ago, I guess, like 8 years ago, wow. One of the first sort of areas that I went into healing and focusing on a lot was, my feminine energy, basically. I was focused a lot on healing my feminine energy, healing the mother wound, all of that kind of stuff. And if you think about it, our first experience of life is through the feminine, it's through the mother, as we are born and then, breastfed or not. But still, there is this primary sort of initiation through the feminine archetype into Earth, right? And I feel a lot of the time with healing, it can begin here. It can begin with the feminine energy, working with restoring our connection to our feminine energy, coming into peace and, exploring what does it mean to love myself, self-acceptance, more of a gentle approach to ourselves, which I really believe is an important foundation, because then we start to want and desire to heal the masculine. And the way that we work with masculine energy, and all of this has been coming to me recently, is super different to the feminine. And that is where I'm at in my life right now, and I feel intuitively a lot of you guys tuning in will be as well, or even definitely will be if you are clicking on this video. There's always a reason, So with the healing our masculine energy, one of the things that I channeled recently is that our inner feminine and our inner masculine are in different places vibrationally right now. So our inner feminine is sort of within us, is quite high vibrational. And what that would translate into feeling like or looking like in your life is, feeling quite versed or quite familiar with sort of themes of self-acceptance and self-love. And again, I mean, like, if you have a huge to-do list and, you get one thing out of 6 done, well, the feminine is the energy within us that is gentle, that is forgiving, that is kind, that is compassionate, that says, it's all good, just get to that stuff when you can, look after yourself, put yourself first, all that kind of stuff, right? Our inner masculine, however, is much more disciplined, diligent, consistent, wants to go through tough and uncomfortable situations in order to know his power. So the masculine right now is in a slightly lower vibration, okay? And I don't, this is just what I'm feeling collectively. And this is within all of us, okay? This isn't talking about men or anything like that. It's nothing to do with men. I'm talking about our inner masculine energy, okay? So it's a half of us. Half of us high vibrational, self-love, self-acceptance. Half of us inside, low vibrational, struggling with self-acceptance day to day, struggling with feeling good enough no matter how much you are achieving, needing a different form of recognition, okay? Our inner feminine, she doesn't really need she's a very different sort of lady, you know. Inside, she has mastered self-love so well that she doesn't need to use up much energy in this sort of striving to be seen or for recognition and that kind of stuff. Okay, but what I have found through my intuitive questioning is that we need to work with the masculine energy right now, because the masculine energy is the one that is needing our help within us, okay? And you might be finding this split in your vibration where, you know, a part of you might be feeling like, oh, I just want to read today, or I just want to like go for a walk in nature, or, you know, more of that gentle inner insight, you know, wanting that. But you may find that if you follow that path of the inner insight, restful, you know, introverted, that you might start to have self-worth issues coming up where you're like, I'm not good enough, I've not done anything today, da-da-da. And this might be new, not necessarily new for your whole life, but new compared to previously and even recently, working with that slow, gentle, internal energy has delivered you to feeling really good about yourself, has been the medicine of the moment, right? We are moving into a time where that kind of honoring of the feminine, and I'm not saying stop honoring your feminine, but I'm saying the tendency of biasing your healing to honoring the feminine energy is going to make you feel stuck moving forward. This is what I'm getting, okay? It may resonate, it may not resonate with you, it's all good. But for those of you who know what I'm talking about, who feel it, the reason that we can't always go on the path of the feminine right now is because the masculine is existing in a different vibration, and the masculine needs our assistance so that, and our focus, he needs the priority so that he can move through this time and elevate. And the way that the masculine wants to do this, the way that the masculine is designed to do this, is through work. And I'm not talking about just like, you know, work as in like how you work to make money. I'm talking about all work. Like it's your work ethic, it's your mindset towards work, your mindset towards working out, your mindset towards your tasks and your goals. And as I'm saying this, I'm even feeling the energy of some of you guys watching where you're just like, I don't want to do it. Yeah, I feel that. I know what you mean. But it is the time, pretty much. You know, I really have this sense of like, the masculine needs us right now. We can't just be like in fairyland with the feminine where everything is flippin' beautiful, which is true, because there's still this part in us that is like, hello, I don't feel that great about myself right now, and, you know, sort of like having a restful day of being in nature isn't really helping me right now. I need to feel like I'm getting stuff done on my to-do list. I need to feel like I'm working consistently towards my dream, my goal, my desires. I need to feel like I am using my potential. Yeah, the masculine wants to feel like he is using his potential, and his potential is his power, and his potential is his energy. So, well, all of our purpose is our energy. It doesn't matter what we do, but it's the energy we bring to what we do. And there has been this sort of like graduation of feminine energy, this mastery of feminine energy that has come through collectively. And one of the ways that I've actually, this is such a funny message that I got, but you know how like in the past sort of, I don't know if you would call it a decade, but it might be longer than that, but how there's been a shift in beauty standards for women and for, you know, for the feminine. There's been a shift in beauty standards for the feminine energy where previously, you know, the desirable thing was, you know, the 90s, like heroin chic, where it's like you're just like emaciated, right? And now the sort of prominent beauty standard is around like the Kim Kardashian like big bum. I feel like I'm like a grandma talking about this. Apparently it's a big bum they like now, but you know. So, but what I've found interesting about that is that our butt, is a symbol of our power. Well, it's not a symbol of our power. It holds our power energetically. It's a power point in the body of the human. So if we have a weak butt, then it means that we're not in touch with our power. And collectively, what have we seen recently is a lot of butts getting a lot bigger and an acceptance of pre-existing large butts. But I'm talking about symbolically, that's big. It is big. It's big news because it's to me, it's a huge symbol of the feminine power, okay? The feminine power, okay? Because it's the feminine butt being glorified, worshipped. Whereas previously, even you can look back from the kind of movies that I was watching when I was growing up, it was a totally different body standard, right? So there's been a huge shift. The feminine is rising. I mean, think about it. We've seen it all over media culture, popular culture, everywhere. The future is female, God is a woman, all of this stuff, right? We've been seeing it. We can see it. It's in a way, it's being programmed in as well. What I feel is that we've had a long time historically of, experiencing patriarchal systems of power, okay? Meaning that the power was favored towards the masculine energy. And there is still a sense of having this power over sort of structure of, the masculine has power over the feminine. Okay, so, but history has not always been this way. This is what I received, and I'm definitely not alone in this belief around the world and the energy fluctuations in the world. So on Earth, we have seen patriarchal power control systems of domination for a lot of recent history, right? Thousands of years at least. But prior to that, it was the other way around. There was a matriarchal, it was more of a matriarchy. And when the feminine was in the position of power over the masculine, the feminine was not kind. The feminine was very brutal. And there was a lot of trauma in the masculine's energy, a lot of exploitation and, just a lot of the shitty things that you could pretty much imagine. It all happened. So what we've been going through with the patriarchy is this pendulum swing in the other direction where, and I'm talking hundreds and thousands of years of Earth history, right? I'm talking big picture, huge scale. But this is within us because we are souls who have lived through these energy fluctuations, or we can at least tune into them. We know this. If we are on Earth, we have a knowledge. We know what our history is. So we are moving into a time where the pendulum is swinging once more. And it's going in the direction of the feminine being in the power. Okay, big butts coming back in, power coming back into the feminine. There's a huge shift in culture, in it's messy. I'm not saying the feminine's in her power right now. I'm saying she's rising out of her victim, because the feminine has been victimized by the patriarchy for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, and this is in our collective consciousness. But deeper, even deeper in our collective consciousness is the victimization of the masculine by the feminine, okay? And that is what is being healed right now. That is what I feel is being healed right now. Because in order for things to kind of go back, and look, I'm praying that we don't have it swing in the other direction to the point where the feminine is in a matriarchal situation again, right, over the masculine. I hope that we don't have to go to that extreme again. I hope that with the feminine rising in her power, and this is my prayer for humanity, that we can reach a place where there's equality or something similar to, something that might even possibly resemble equality. You know what I'm saying? That's my dream, that's my hope, that's my prayer, that's the vision that I hold for us. But as the pendulum is swinging into the side of the feminine rising, the masculine is awakening to his pain. to his trauma, and to his sacred rage of being oppressed by the feminine, okay? So, this is a messy time. But we have a responsibility towards our inner masculine right now to tend to him and to care for him, so that he can more easily come into his power without the fear. Because the kind of power that the masculine is coming into is truth. It is a power that is truth. It isn't a power that is over the feminine. It's not power through domination. It's power through truth. It's a higher vibrational, like we are witnessing a higher vibrational expression of masculine power than we have possibly ever witnessed on earth. And it's beautiful, and it's within us. You know, we are the ones bringing it through our consciousness. So right now, you may feel like you have to work on projects. You have to work out. You just feel like you just have to be disciplined. You feel like you just have to look at those things that you just have not wanted to face, and you have to be in your warrior and face it and fight it and conquer those demons, you know. That is the time we're in. Ay. So the feminine really, like, there's this is what I channeled in this Venus Mars video I did just before. If we look at this as being like the masculine and this as being the feminine, these crystals, the feminine holds within her this key of self-love. Okay, that's one of the feminine's gifts is her ability to love. You know, she is the lover archetype. She receives, you know, the masculine into her heart space and loves him, right? So the feminine holds this understanding of how to love and how to love the self. The masculine holds this understanding of how to be free. How to be free. How to be free. And there is a power in freedom, okay? And there is a power in love, okay? And so the feminine is always the part in us that is striving for connection. And the part in us that's always striving for freedom is our masculine. But right now, even though the masculine is expressing his freedom and the feminine is expressing her self-love, they are kind of needing to swap places for a while so that they can come further into balance, so that the masculine can learn self-love, not through being loved by the feminine, but through learning how to love himself unconditionally, right? The feminine is learning about freedom. So they're kind of swapping places. But the thing is that the feminine is up here already. This is just the way I'm being shown it. Again, it's nothing to do with genders, all right? It's within us. We have these two spots. We have these two parts in us, and our feminine is vibrating up here, and our masculine is vibrating down here. And ultimately, they want to be in union and come up here together, okay? But they can't do that if one of them's vibrating at a different frequency. It just simply won't work. It's like they can't come together. It's almost like magnets repelling each other. So the masculine needs to be the one that has our focus right now, because he needs more assistance as he is healing and raising his vibration, okay? So whatever your inner masculine is calling you to do, what is it, you know? What is that thing you've been putting off? And I know this is the thing that we don't like to hear, but it is going to plague us more if we just keep not facing it. It's going to lead to stagnancy and boredom and feeling like pissed off. The masculine is just going to be angry at us, basically, if we don't deal with stuff. And I'm not saying it has to be perfect. You know, bring the wisdom of the feminine to the way that you approach the masculine energy. This is why we are gifted with the foundation of our feminine healing work that we've done, which means that we don't have to go into working with masculine energy in a way that's forceful or harsh or brutal towards ourselves. You know, we don't want to push ourselves to our like physical limits and create exhaustion or burnout or even illness. No, we want to use the gift that we have of our feminine wisdom to guide the way that we assist and support the masculine right now, okay? So doing it in a way that is tempered, that is consistent, right? We don't want to burn out after 1 or 2 days. Consistency is super important. This is a repeated theme coming through for me. Be consistent. Whatever you're doing, be consistent. And with the masculine energy, if you're kind of like, I don't know what to do, just pick something and do it. The masculine right now just wants action. So, you know, it might be like, for me, it's sticking to my flippin' yoga. That's what my masculine is like pushing me to do, is being super diligent and disciplined about checking in and doing my yoga every single day for a certain amount of time, and just doing it. Just do it. Just do it. That's the slogan of this time, especially in the spotlight as we lead up to the Aries full moon at the end of the month of October. But I feel this energy really going to be a theme for a lot longer. You know, for me, and I'd say healing my feminine took like 6 years or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was a long time of like allowing and surrendering and being with my intuition and being with my emotions and being gentle and, you know, being kind. And that served me for a really long time. And the shift is a bit uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's super necessary. And it's just as important, you know. So you may feel like now is not the time to surrender. Now is not the time to just allow things to just happen. Oh, I don't know, it'll just come together. Now is the time to like actively take the reins of your reality and drive it into a direction that you want to experience. It's about taking responsibility for your experience. Okay. That is my little video for today. I send you so much love and light, and I'll see you later.